Okay. Timestamp. It is April 3rd, 2026, about 7 p.m. I've been up for a while. That's fairly early. Nah, that's not totally true. Got up about 10 o'clock. Wanted to make sure I was up in time for the phone call at noon. Talked to the guy at the financial place. He's trying to get an idea. We didn't really talk numbers exactly. It was just kind of an idea of what are your plans? What are you thinking? And I'm like, well, my dad is probably going to pass this year, and I'm trying to make the account work for him, for me eventually, because that's just being practical. It's where we are. He's probably in his last year because that's how dementia works. We just had a good conversation. He was mostly picking my brain, just trying to figure out what my long-term, short-term goals were, where I needed to be able to, do stuff, not do stuff. It's good talk. It's good talk. Health check. I feel okay. A little congested. I spent a little under 4 hours on the Lanai, back in the bivouac area, going through totes, wrapping glassware, opening boxes, teaching cockroaches and silverfish how to swim. Yeah. It's nasty. It's just nasty. There is so much glassware. Lots of Corningware today. Some Visions. Some Pyrex. Some Corel. It's an interesting plate set from Barney's, which I'm not surprised they did it. The coffee company, Barney's. Once upon a time, and I don't know if they still do, because I know that there are still a few malls here and there, but the malls used to each have pretty much a Barney's, just a little coffee shop kind of thing going on. Used to enjoy going in there. Always had really cool mugs. The coffee was amazing. But yeah, a bunch of like country plates with like very hand painted like pears in a basket or apples in a basket. They're cute. Very rustic, but among the cuter stuff that I would say is out there, most of it's so incredibly old school. But I know they're collectors for like old Pyrex and stuff, so I know there's value there. And this again is part of that whole, the reason we're being careful and going through everything and like repacking it and all that is there is some stuff that has some value. Is it going to be easy to liquidate? I don't even know. I mean, I do toys. This is a new category. I don't know. There's, between the fine china, the Pyrex, Corningware, there's quite literally thousands of dollars of stuff here. I can't. It's all my dad's. My mom passed. My dad inherited everything of mom's. It's my dad's. I can't do anything with it at the moment, except try and catalog, maintain, store. That's, as guardian, that's my job. So much stuff. My God. Switching gears. Finished off my tables for my lounge. They are not perfect, but I'm a Capricorn, not a Virgo. Like you can see probably on the very edge there's that little bit that comes up on the bottom there. Just that little bit. But I'm not gonna like, oh, I have to make sure the orange is right up to the line and the blue doesn't go over the orange. I don't care that much. This is like dollhouse furniture. It doesn't, there's, yeah, no. But all 5 are pretty much ready to go. So I'll be putting those. Ooh, oh. The top coat came out nice. It's got a nice finish to it. So those will be going in the lounge. Um, Picked up those foam boards the other day from the Dollar Tree. Picked up 5. I think it'll be enough. I need to remember to measure twice, cut once instead of measure once, cut twice. I need to remember that. A little pearl of wisdom. But I want to measure because they're a weird. Um, to me, it always makes me think of a stage, which is why I was like, ooh, I could use these. These are fun. Because most of your stages, if you look at it, your sets aren't necessarily a box. They're normally angled walls because you've got audience on the sides, you know. So I've got to measure those walls, which are the same, you know, they are congruent, and then the back panel. And then I can paint them, decorate them. I can wrap them in wrapping paper. I've seen people do that for wall decor. If you find a good wallpaper that has a neat print on it, whatnot, you can do that to make walls for whatever I want. And I can make a whole bunch of the side panels and a whole bunch of the back panels, and I can swap them out. With some of them, I'm going to experiment with like the great stuff. I think maybe if I do like wrap them in a beige or even a gray wrapping paper, I can apply some great stuff more towards the base so it looks like rock, whatnot. Let it dry, paint it, and it can be modeled that way. And I'll show you what I mean as time goes on. Doesn't have to be perfect because you pick up a river rock. It's not typically. They can be, but they're not typically like all the exact same shade of gray. You know, there's going to be some variation on it. So that enables me to actually, and I need to make sure when I do like the back panel that even though the back panel's flat, I angle whatever I do in so that I can also have the side pieces also angled in so it'll fit in. That, I don't know if that makes sense or not. Because if I make them straight and then I make the side panels straight, they're going to conflict with each other on the corner. As opposed to if they're both angled, it'll like sandwich in. Thought of that. But I can cut the foam board panels and start making real walls for my dollhouse. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I got to do some creative stuff, or I'll go mad doing what I'm doing right now. Especially considering how much there is still to do, because there's a lot. But I'm gonna cook up that chicken and red beans. My red beans are ready to go. Did the whole soaky thing. It's like 2 pounds of red beans, and I've got probably 1.5 pounds of chicken. It's been marinating with smoked paprika and cayenne pepper and black pepper, and should have a little bit of zip to it. Probably going to cut up a red onion. I got some green peppers the other day. I'll cut up a green pepper in there too. Kind of do a real low simmer fry on that. And then that over rice, and it should be fabulous. That's what I'm going to be doing when I get off of this. Prepping that, because it's going to be probably a 3-hour cook. You know, it's going to be, let it really think about things. Sounds really good, and I'm hungry. I had a yogurt before I went out, but I'm feeling a little peckish. And this is probably my next prop that I'm going to work on. This is a LOL OMG surprise, which I still maintain are some of the ugliest dolls on the planet. It's competitive with the Cabbage Patch. They're competitive. And honestly, Bratz, I hate the overblown features on the Bratz. They're like caricatures of real people. It's really obnoxious to me. Maybe it's just me. I mean, obviously, it's at least a little bit just me because they sell. but I think they're ugly. The Monster High ones have a little bit of overblown features, a little bit of exaggeration, but it's not so extreme. And the concepts they're working with are really cool. This is going to be my library cart. If you haven't spent time in a library, at least in the old days, when books get brought back, they don't mystically go back onto the shelf. Typically a librarian will have them in a box or something, and they frequently have a cart, and they will wheel the cart around and replace the books on the shelf. So I thought this would make, I wanted a library cart. I'm not sure what I want to do with it exactly. I know I'm doing some blue in my library, like it's like a teal. I've got a couch and those chairs. So I may try and do something blue, something borrowed. Wait, no, that's a different thing altogether, isn't it? Never mind. But I also, this just screams to me like it should be like almost stainless steel. You know what I mean? It just, I look at this and I'm like, this should be stainless steel. So I may do almost all silver, and then do some like little detail touches or something in white or some kind of a blue that kind of works with the palette. I have not decided yet. But doing the shelves special would be incredibly complicated. I probably can take it apart. It looks like this back panel like probably snaps off, and that probably allows you to remove these. I am considering doing this, but I also don't want to absolutely break it. So I'm not sure. But it definitely looks like that probably comes off. But I'm certain that I could break it. I have great skill. Try something. Ew. Tape debris. Seem to remember something safety training wise about not putting your fingers in the direct path of the blade. I think I just snapped the tip of my razor up. Oh dear. Uh-oh. I no longer have a point. Yeah. Oops. That did not go the way I planned. I don't know. I'll monkey with it. See if I can actually pull that panel off. Extract that little piece of metal that's now edged in there. Oopsie. But yeah, taking it apart might mean that I could actually do the shelves a little bit more efficiently. And then just piece it together once I've got it, you know, all set and like sealed and all that. Willing to bet. Yeah, I'm going to have to play with it and see if I can get that back panel off. If nothing else, I have a rogue piece of blade stuck in there now. Go me. Way to go, Marcus. Hey, it doesn't quite cut like it did before. Weird. this, thank you. This should be, ordered this the other day, got a good price on it. I think I paid like 12. Hopefully it's as good as the picture looked. I'm not gonna put that where my cats will step on it. They will be so angry. And they'd be angry at me if they knew. Cool. Yeah, Doctor Who Roku is actually doing what I thought it should do. I went to bed and I'm actually sorry that I needed to sleep because they were playing William Hartnell New Earth, which is I think a really long Dalek story from the first Doctor, and I haven't seen it the whole way through. I watched like the first 2 or 3 parts, and it was pretty cool. 1963, 1964, somewhere in there. And I woke up to Resurrection of the Daleks, which is a Peter Davison Dalek story. Spoilage, it's Tegan's last adventure, sort of. She leaves, but she comes back later on. She's gone for a little while. So this is, I got one of these a while back, and I thought it might be missing parts, and indeed it was. This is, I guess, Goldie. He, it. It's a Clone Wars astromech, and the one that I have, the doors were missing on the front, which I paid like $7 for that one. I'm not too worried about it. And the idea of having droids in various conditions or things like that. Oh no. I mean, for my lifestyle, that's fine. This guy looks like he's actually complete. A little hatch on the back with a like hook on a string kind of thing going on there. Very interesting. You look like you come out. Ooh, because you come out. Yeah. It's got like a little... I've only seen a little bit of the Clone Wars. I haven't finished it. I've watched the first couple seasons. So I'm not sure. I know there was at least one of these kind of droids that was like an Imperial double agent thing. I'm not sure if it was Goldie or not. So this might be an Imperial spy. I don't know. Tiny would know. My kid would know. Has absolutely devoured Clone Wars. That and Rebels. And I like them a great deal, but I haven't had the time. Exactly, I haven't had the time to sit down and watch, all 14 seasons or what have you. Some good stuff. Some well-written storylines. Better than 7 through 9, Just saying. Yeah, he's pretty cool though. He looks really good. Condition-wise, he seems pretty solid. So I'm content with my purchase. And feedback will be according. Curious. Walk with me a moment, would you? Please. Alright, I just want to step over you, Scrap. I'm not trying to cause any problems. Thank you, sir. My guys know no other way than to lounge right behind my chair. So it's kind of a cluster. Where's my... turn on the light because you're not going to be able to see anything for sure. Uh-oh. Ooh. That's not good. The light went out. Okay. card just needs to be recharged. So, it's the library, but I need to do the walls. That back panel is actually very skinny now that I look at it. But I still need to make sure I angle the stuff. Interesting. Okay. Got a cat sleeping right under where I'd like to stand. So, I have made it so I can't get in here. Okay, there's one. So, like, the chairs I've got in there are... Let me get back over there. That's the main color I've got other than white. Okay. Kind of wanted to take a look and, verify what I thought was in my head. No problem, Jinx. I'll walk around you. Is it bad luck if I step over a black cat named Jinx? How does that work? Can I get a ruling on that? So, the chairs that I have in the library are this color. Which... it's real close. This is actually darker. That's real close though. That might be like a standard LOL color. I'm not even going to try and match it though. Not even going to try it. So maybe stainless and white? Or blue? Like find another blue? With that, I'd probably want to find a blue that is either lighter or darker noticeably than the chairs. Because, to be quite honest, I don't want to make it look like I tried to color match and then failed miserably. I'd rather go with like a 2 blue color palette. Something pre-bottled that I don't have to try and, stir mix to match. It's pretty blue though. These chairs are really good. One thing, the dolls are, in my opinion, again, my opinion, I can say in my opinion again if you want, they're hideous. They're just hideous. I hate them. But the furniture and some of the gear and the props they have with their doll, with their merchandise, pretty cool. Pretty cool. These tables are LOL, but they were black with like white stripes on the top. These are for the lounge. These are for the library. I don't want anybody thinking, oh my god, you're trying to match that? No, that's different. I'm doing the dark blue, the orange, and like almost a carnation pink with a lounge. Going with a crazy palette. That was kind of a challenge that I was issued. But yeah, I want to do... I think a lighter blue, just to give it a little bit of difference, maybe like a sky blue or powder blue, something like that, baby blue kind of thing. Yeah. The card I might do white though. I don't know. I'm torn. If you have an opinion, feel free to comment. No one ever comments on my stuff. I'm so sad. I can't believe I broke my blade. I've got a whole pack of them, so I'm not like, oh no, but it's just like, man, I did that on camera. I can't even dub it. Darn it. I look like a fool. If you know me at all, you know that I have zero rats behinds about the whole looking like a fool stuff I've done on stage. Yeah, I don't care. It's gotta come off. I think I'm gonna have to pop from the top and like pry it down and hopefully not break it, because it's a neat piece. It'll make a very good library cart. I don't know. Can't believe that happened. I heard that little. I know what that was. Damn it, man. Yeah. So, enjoying some more Starbucks breakfast blend. Tiny enjoyed the last pot that we made and was like, I'm going to make that again. I was like, sure, go for it. So, still feeling coyote. And it's good coffee. Again, $8 for a cup of coffee or whatever in the wild. No. A bag for $8? Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. Sure. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to start the cooking process. And then I'm going to work in here and or in the garage. See if I can excavate a little bit more there. It was starting to get windy, gray, so I'm like, okay, I'm about to get rained out. It hasn't started yet, but I know the weather report said it might rain early evening, so I'm like, yeah, this is a good place to pack it up. After I did like the 6th or 7th tote, I'm like, okay. Repositioned everything. Went to a different section of the bivouac, pulled out like 5 more totes, opened them up, got a sneak peek. Most of it's glassware again. I'm shocked. There were a couple of oddball of the totes, because I looked at like 5 or 6. There were a couple that had, one had some like thank you cards and Hallmark cards and gift bags and stuff like that. I'll look at them. The gift bags are probably going to get thrown out for the main reason that I already had 2 totes like that over this past week, and because the totes are not perfectly sealed. They're not perfectly sealed. They usually have like a ventilation hole in the handle area. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And as such, I'm still not AI, by the way. Hair's making me nuts. Hey, Janus. As such, they've been out there. Hurricanes have gone through, literally. The inside of the tote is not wet, but it has been around moisture and mustiness and all that kind of stuff literally for years. Possibly 4 years, maybe 6 years, not sure. A while. So there is the moisture dampness environment that a perfectly not sealed plastic container has had. So when I pulled the party bags and the gift wrap, and there was like streamers and some other stuff that's like in between fabric and paper, I don't know how else to describe it, the whole tote had that like moldy library smell. Not a musty library, it was that next step. And yeah, no, I'm not gonna, that, if you go to a birthday party, there's cake and the little, cake napkins and stuff like that. And the napkins smell like a moldy library. Are you gonna, probably not. And one of the totes had like probably 30 or 40 packs of like the little party napkins. They were red, they were green, it was mostly like Christmas stuff. And just to be fair, to make sure I wasn't just, it wasn't just the plastic tote itself smelling like that. I picked up a few of the packs of napkins and like they're plastic wrapped and all that, but it had that mildew smell in the trash bag. Not even gonna play. Not even gonna play. I can't rehabilitate that. Now throw it in the dryer with a dryer sheet. Come on. They're ruined. There's no way around it. They're ruined. So, filled up a few contractor bags of stuff that, nope. Nope. You know, if we'd caught it 3 hurricanes earlier, might have been okay. Now, nope. Nope. It was stored next to a swimming pool that is home to many frogs and mosquitoes in an area where it can watch hurricanes, fly on by. There's dampness. Gets in there, it settles, you're not getting rid of it. Thrown away some fabric stuff too. Some that was actually saturated and like black, slimy, like I'm pretty sure I didn't catch anything because it was a week ago. I'd probably be dead already. Or I would have noticed my hand mutating or something. Have I always had 7 fingers? Nothing personal, X. I don't think he'd take that personally, but you never know. Care about my cat's feelings, okay? Okay. So yeah, that back panel is actually, I kept thinking it was more flat-ish, but it's really not. It's a really skinny back and then really long side panels. I mean, I still need to do the angles if I'm doing any kind of build out, but it does change my approach only a little bit, honestly, only a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. So the side panels are going to be where all the action is. I'm probably going to leave the back panel flat color, matching flat color, matching side panels, but because the buildup on the sides would overlap. You know what I mean? I could wedge something in the gap made by it to give it a more full look, but it's almost not necessary to build anything out there because it would be so small it would be almost insignificant. Thinking out loud now. You help me talk things out, I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this will be my first time using foam board for that sort of thing. I've normally done wood panels. So this is an experiment, but the wood panel works great too, but it gets heavy. Foam board's a lot, lighter, easier to manipulate, easier to cut. Not necessarily as durable, so I need to be careful how I store them when I'm not using them. Because I have 4 windows, basically 4 places on the dollhouse, as it were. But I'm going to have, when all this is said and done, I'm going to have more than 4 sets. May have 6 or 8 or 10 or something like that, so I'm going to have them stacked nicely in a tote or something as backdrops. My set walls. It's going to be fun. And again, it'll help me not go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Probably. Oh man, that's good. Luther has a follow-up appointment tomorrow, so we'll be going down to the vet. Pix will be coming over with a very expensive tortoiseshell. It's okay. It's alright, we got it. We'll go from there. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I'm going to get cooking. Literally. Enjoy some more coffee because, yeah. See about taking that cart apart without damaging tools or the cart itself. heard the click. Damn it. Alright. Hug your parents. Hug your kids. Make it a great day.